Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were made guy.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
That's a Fugazi. All right? That's a Fugazi. I looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does it.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Well done, Nebraska. We're brought to you by Profit X. Right now, you can win flights and hotels anywhere you want, up to $10,000 with their King of March contest. Sign up with code VSiN, MM. Arizona making 5 Final Fours is a big surprise for all the wrong reasons. Real or Fugazi?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, that's way too small of a number.
I couldn't believe that.
I mean,
you know how many times they've had a 1 or a 2 seed? They dominated the Pac-10?
Oh, yeah.
Pac-12?
You go back and look over the years.
The NBA players they've had?
They have had machines there, man.
Wow.
And they fall short so many times. But you could
Yes.
also make the case, like a lot of other programs do as well.
I know it's hard, but that was shocking.
Only 5? When I saw that last night, I was like, wait a second, that's got to be a typo.
Yeah.
They have been, I mean, for our lifetime, when were they bad, really? I really don't recall them.
Wasn't there a rough stretch after Lute?
Oh, I'm sure there was a little bit, but I mean, it doesn't seem like it was that long. Because
Sean
Miller
Elliott, Sean Rooks, Walton, Williams, Jefferson.
The teams with in the 90s with Stoudemire and Khalid Reeves, and they are basically always good, and that's it, only 5. If you would have said, before they popped that on TV last night, if people would have said, take a guess how many, I would have been like a dozen.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, but you're way off.
Yeah. It's kind of like Boeheim. All those years, look how many Final Fours lacked thereof.
I don't even know that answer. Was it
It's
only
not
like
a
a couple,
lot.
maybe?
It's a couple. Yes. No, okay. Can you put this up again, Luke, at the win? It was funny, by the way. After the guy hit, they shut down the machine. And like, no matter the amount for the tip, the person's going to be disappointed. Real or Fugazi. I don't care if it's the bartender, the slot attendant, whatever it's going to be, the cocktail waitress. When you hit for something like that, the person's just, because you probably, I don't know what you're expecting. I don't know what you should get. And there's certainly a cutoff point. I don't care about this, as Frank B said, the people in the industry made up the 10% rule.
No, no doubt.
But,
well, so you showed this earlier, right? It's
Yeah.
a jackpot that was at the win. The guy's playing $1,250 a push.
Yeah.
10 play, $25 denomination there, and he pops, was it 4 4s and a kicker?
Dealt, yes, here it is. Look at this thing.
Whew, man. So that pays more than $500,000. So if you go by the 10% rule, you're just going to say,
No, you're
go
not
ahead,
doing no.
Take 50,
No
take
way.
50,000?
No.
So 1% is 5,000. Would you leave 5,000? If I even suggested that to like Bob Dancer, he'd say, "Are you out of your mind?" Of course not.
Yeah, it's like, well, what did you do? Like, you just handed me money. Or I just, I ordered a Coke? You want $5,000 because
Right.
you brought me a Coke or a Coors Light?
Right.
Out here, I think it's also different, too, when you, look, here it is. This is hilarious. This is after they hit it. There it is. Bye-bye. There must be a problem. Gee whiz. It's a casino. People got to win sometime. I think it's also, you tip more if you're at the tables. Like the story here where the gal got the royal flush on 3-card poker.
Yeah.
She didn't know what she won or hit. She sat down on the second hand and won $31,000. She left $100. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
That's outrageous.
Well, there you actually have a human being that you're interacting
That's right.
with.
That's different.
So you get back and forth
she's
to the
giving you
dealer
the cards. Here, I just hit.
Yeah, right.
I hit deal, and this is what the machine happened to spit out.
I don't even know. So we'll ask the audience, what's a fair number to tip here?
You won $500,000 on a slot. What would you do?
On a slot.
Yeah.
I mean, 5,000 just seems like people in the industry are going to say 5,000 is not enough. That's
outrageous.
Only 2,000?
It's outrageous.
A dime?
Because I know. What was left over? 7,000? Is that what it said?
Yeah.
507,000. Bettors and the books are chasing the Wemby steam. Real or Fugazi?
I think that's probably a little real.
From 22 to 1 down to plus 220, like that.
Yeah, in the span of a couple of days, basically. And now it's actually starting to go back up a little bit, but I also...
Well, SGA played well last night, too. Yes.
Yeah, very true. I think it's also, yep, you're right. Books paying attention to what other books are doing. They're like, hold on here. Why did they drop to 3-1? I'm still at 10-1. I got to get out of that. Otherwise, someone's going to come in here and make a huge bet on that. And so what do they know that I don't know? It has to be. And again, this is going to come down to, you said this in the last hour, what, 26-2, last 28, they picked up one game?
Yes.
Does it all come down to the 1 seed?
I've heard a lot of that the last couple of days, and it bothers me.
Yeah, me too.
They have to get the 1 seed. Well, what if they finish a game behind him? Who cares? They're 25-1 or 24-1 with him when he plays going back.
He's got an incredible case to win the award. Again, the most important thing that has to happen soon is the next straw poll from Tim Bontemps.
Yes.
That's going to be very telling.
Yes.
And, oh, by the way, that will move the number again. Because if SGA, who got, I think, 79 first-place votes last time in February, if he were to get like 79 this time, forget about it. He's going to go back to like a $1,000 favorite. However, if Wemby closes the gap significantly, that actually could go down.
True. All right, this really chaps my ass. CB Buckner must retire. Real or Fugazi. I'm okay with robot umps. The batters went 6 for 6 on challenges, this guy.
Right.
And Suarez got him, what, back-to-back pitches?
Yes.
Went to... the whole thing's ridiculous when you think about it. There is a rule book of what the strike zone is. But these guys come in and it's my strike zone, and it varies game to game. He is awful.
Well, based on that one game alone, does he, like, when's the next time that he is going to get, like, he'll get an assignment again unless they actually step in and do something? The crowd reaction now around this stuff is, I never anticipated this.
Yeah?
The crowd in Cincinnati, they were going nuts when Suarez won back-to-back challenges.
Yes.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So does that mean anything in terms of betting?
He's trying
I'm not
to punch
so sure,
him out twice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you tried to show me up. I'm going to punch you again. And the pitch isn't even close.
Right. This is not like everybody knows the touchdown rules are a little different, but like if you get into the end zone, it's a touchdown. There are markers on the field. There's actually like a marker for the strike zone as well. But these guys, like you said, nope, not today. People went back, by the way, and charted the Lamont Hernandez game in the 1997 World Series.
Oh, no.
To notice how many blown calls there would have been.
NLCS.
NLCS,
Braves, yeah. Oh, no.
It was like 16 or something like that. It was an astronomical number how they got wrong.
It was Eric Gregg.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Or a strike zone.
That can't happen anymore, and it doesn't, but yes, the robot umps should be here to stay.
Okay. Blaming Caden Boozer for Duke's loss is the easy way out and wrong. Real or Fugazi?
Yeah,
Give me the blame pie.
I think that's real. I think Shire, because I would say this because why is it happening over and over and over again now?
He panicked. He just hold the ball. They're going to foul you. Well, if he gets it over their heads, it's an easy dunk. The game's over. But just take the sure thing.
Also, but I would say the two guys that made the passes before him, they didn't have to pass.
No, sorry, no way.
Where was Caleb Foster?
No way. They're going to foul you. They have to foul.
Right. Why was Foster not on the floor?
Yeah.
Like that's on Shire big time. These players don't take themselves out of the game and say, I better not be out there right now. You go in for me instead. Can't happen. Also, I think Evans is 80+% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
He's taking the ball out of bounds, right? Or had it briefly for like a second. That was it. Like they didn't think about this. And oh, by the way, there's a video now surfacing a couple of weeks ago, and Duke tweeted this out. Duke University did. Shire is in front of his group, and he is on film, and it's the end of a Chicago Bulls game where it comes down to a tip ball. It's a 2-point game. It's off of a missed free throw. Trey Jones catches the ball and like falling out of bounds, and he stops like, what do you guys do here in this spot? What do you do in these moments? And they kicked around a couple of ideas. Trey Jones eventually threw the ball up in the air like Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
All those years ago in the NBA game ended like that.
Yeah, it's a good move.
It's a great move. I don't know why players don't do it more often.
Yeah, throw the ball up.
Sure. Games, if you're going to take 3, 4, 5 seconds off.
That's right.
Okay, that's going to be it. What happened yesterday then? That's, again, not the same exact situation that he was showing them on film, but I don't know, man. When it's the same. They're not dropping down by 20 points, then coming back and falling short. They're getting up by 15, 19, 20 points and then blowing those leads. In any other situation, NBA or the college level, the coach is going to get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
But somehow this guy's deflecting all of the blame? I don't know. Okay.
Dallin was right. Killer instinct. You're up 20, get it up to 30.
Yeah.
Because it keeps happening.
Mullins' game-winning 3 is not the best tournament moment ever, but it's absolutely near the top. Is that real or Fugazi?
I think it has to be. Based on the opponent, everyone likes to root against Duke. the epic comeback and what it meant to make the shot. And he hadn't made one all game. And just the chaos. And then the look on Raftery and Grant Hill's face. That's the other one, too. That's a top 10 moment in tournament history.
Gotta be. It's not Chris Jenkins good, because that won a national title at the buzzer.
Yes.
I would have Suggs. That walked it off against UCLA to get to the national title game, and Gonzaga was undefeated.
That was great. That's lost.
I think this one's, is it bigger than Leitner? Probably not.
No.
Leitner was also to go to the Final Four. Pat Forty brought this up off the air. NC State, the
probably
alley-oop
number one
to beat a much better team in Houston at the buzzer, basically.
They won the title on that game.
Yeah.
Yes. Big underdogs.
And by the way, from the logo, man.
I know.
He sticks
from way out. I can't believe the ending. I can't believe Andy. I just sat there. What just happened?
I can't
What
tell you
happened?
How many times have I watched it so far? I'm not even 100, 200 times.
Yeah. It shouldn't have been a 15-point halftime lead.
That's a good observation.
It should have been bigger than that. They were ready to get run out, and they couldn't do it. And they kept chipping away. But still, they're up 9 with 5 minute.
I know. But also, to your point, Duke, that was 19, and Duke didn't score that much after that point in the first half.
Right.
That could have been a 25-point lead at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Then, game
I can't imagine the off season and you miss the Final Four, and that's what you have to chew on and think about. Or if that was your final game as a member of the team.
Yep. I'll point out a potential live betting opportunity tonight when this team goes to the bullpen. 13 innings pitched in their opening series, 15 earned runs allowed.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Point out something to watch tonight in Major League Baseball. Once this team goes to their bullpen in a minute, we're getting great reaction right now on tipping. At the win over the weekend, Pauly was there. Somebody popped a jackpot for $500,000. Like, nobody's going to be happy, as Pauly was saying.
No. Can you imagine if you hit that and you're sitting at a bar? I don't think that'll ever happen because you just can't play those kind of limits.
Right.
But that's... You can imagine what the bar, if the guy's been feeding you.
And you go there all the time?
Oh, my God. You just can't win in that situation. You can't.
This is from my guys in the desert on X. It depends on how much up or down you are as well.
Good point.
If he's 100,000 into that machine, hits for 500,000, the 1% would be 4,000. I still think that's a lot.
Yep.
Scott says people would tip more if the government wouldn't take 30%.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
This is from Tom. I dealt blackjack to a gentleman years ago, 3 hours in high limit, $2,500 a hand.
Ooh.
2 hands when my shift ended, he was up $135,000. He tipped me at least $20,000.
Wow.
So Tom says 5,000 on half a mil is a little short. But that's based on your one experience, though. That's an incredible tip by that guy.
That's a whole different ball game, though. You got it. I mean, the dealer did just. That's on the dealer, right?
Yeah.
Here, you're just hitting a button on a machine, and then the slot attendant's coming over and handing you money.
Yeah.
That's it. What did they do? And the cocktail waitress. Okay, if you had a couple beers, I don't know.
This is from Wilkie Win on X. When it comes to tipping, my one big variable in Vegas is the food and beverage union pay. Nobody makes $3 an hour on $500,000 on that win. Mm-hmm. How many markers do you need to pay after taxes? If the player lived in California, they'll net $250,000. I tip $2,000 only with good attitude.
Yeah, that's strong.
Huh?
The X gave $20,000 to a host, and then I also think security. When we were staying there for like a week, 2 weeks after the $12 million.
Yeah.
But they're doing a lot for you.
No question.
But the guy couldn't have been more gracious and thankful at what they did. And I mean, that's strong. I never thought about that, tipping security and everything. But, you did well by the host and security and everything. And that's.
Well, so That happened to me last year. I hit 2 jackpots here at Circa last year. One was 20,000, the other was 17,000. And so those are both hand pays, obviously, and people are going to, like, that's making a noise for a long time, and people are going to, like, gather around and say, oh, my God, that's your big boy right there, and watch. And then you have somebody come and dump that much cash in your hand. I told them before they came, I would whisper to them, can you please ask security to come over here because I'm going to leave as soon as you give me the money. And then, so then they did that. Security came and surrounded us. They gave me the money. I'm like, okay, boys, I'm going to play out what's left in the machine, then we can go. And then when we got to the garage, I just tipped a Mitch couple $100. Said,
that's
thanks,
strong.
boys.
Good.
Had to do it. I mean, there's no way I wanted that much money on me on my own. I just, who knows?
Good job. Yeah, it's tough. The other thing too, if you're a local, and these bartenders talk, they do. Word gets around, man. And what you're expected, they will. I know many bartenders, and they'll remind. They also, if you go to that spot on a regular basis, they'll all remember what that guy. Hey, that guy won $2,000 and left $10.
Yeah.
And then that's how it goes. What do we do with all these guys coming over from Japan now? How do we handle this? Or like KBO, like with Cody Ponce, he dominated last year, MVP and Cy Young, 17-1.
Well,
how does that translate now to the big leagues and what he does? And also like Murakami, who's trying to tie the record. He's hit a home run in all 3 games. Story has the record 4 in a row. 56 bombs in 2022.
I think with a guy like Ponce, we can probably trust him out of the gates, right? Until these teams maybe see him for a second time, or
he should have the edge, right?
There's more scouting available on him. Obviously, they're going to have all that at their disposal, but it's a new guy that they have not been at the plate to see before. So I think that he would be probably a guy that you can bank on and trust him. Like, I don't know if you want to get, I haven't looked at props for him or anything like that, but it's a good angle because the guy, I mean, you got my attention when you win both awards.
No kidding.
It's a pretty high level of baseball, obviously, we're talking about.
Yes.
Well, let me give you this team, by the way, Pauly. The team tonight to look at, it would be this Mets and Cardinals game. First of all, the Mets have won 9 of their last 11 against the Cardinals. Juan Soto has been awesome. 38 career games against St. Louis. His slash line is 301, 419 with 12 extra base hits, 29 walks, 20 RBIs. And the Cardinals bullpen in their season opening series against the Rays, they accounted for 13 innings pitched. They gave up 24. Again, this is Tampa we're talking about. 24 hits, 16 runs, 15 of those were earned. 8 walks, 9 Ks. ERA was 10.38. The whip was 2.46. And Leahy is going tonight for the Cardinals. I don't know. In a perfect world here, you'd like Cardinals up 2-0 going to the 6th, and they go to the bullpen. Okay, now time to hop in on the Mets at a plus price to win the game. Maybe 112 is a bit cheap anyway.
Yeah.
Because I know the Opta AI stats, they like Holmes over as K-prop tonight at vsin.com.
Okay. What do we do with Foster Griffin? How about this story for the Nats? His first start since 2022. 1,285 days ago. Last 3 years in Japan. He's been a reliever, and then he hasn't started, and that's how long does he go? And then you're also going against a top team here as well with the Phillies.
Sure. All right, so, 30 years old, man. 2.57 ERA in 54 appearances. Last season, his top pitches were his changeup, 49% whiff rate, and an 18% usage rate against righties. His slider, 38% whiff rate and 32% usage against lefties. But the problem is now his average fastball velocity is in the low 90s. That's well below the Major League Baseball average. But on the flip side, I mean, yes, Philadelphia, as you said, still they're loaded. They have a ton of talent.
Yeah,
they heard the Boo Birds against the Rangers to close out that series. No hit through 4 2/3 innings on Saturday and through 5 innings on Sunday. They batted 186 in the series. Turner, Schwarber, Harper, 5 for 37 in that series. And they hit 2 home runs in the first 5 innings against the Rangers on opening day. 22 innings now without one. So their sticks have dried up. Obviously, very early baseball. So that could flip in the first inning of the game tonight.
Yeah.
I played a couple of K-props today, and that's pretty much it. How about you?
I need more information. I need more stats.
I
It's
don't
too
blame
early. There's a lot of great stuff going on, a lot of weird stuff, right? Naylor, 0 for 15. Carpenter, 0 for 11. Bichette, 1 for 14. Henderson, 1 for 12, 6 strikeouts. Berger, 6 for 13. Sal Stewart's reached base 10 of 13 at-bats. Reimer's reached all 8 at-bats, 6 for 6 on the season. The Murakami guy going deep 3 times. Kurtz and Rook are off to a horrible start. Brewers red hot, 29 runs. J-Rod, 1 for 15 to start. So do the guys break out of it? Like O'Hearn's got the long 12-game, 13-game hitting streak. Ohtani's reached base 34 in a row. You know, these guys are off to a great start, so they come back. Or do you want to continue to ride the streak and maybe go over with the total bases, or these guys that are bad? Just saying, well, sometimes this can go on for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and they won't break out of it for a while.
And oh, by the way, like I'm totally fine with a guy like Gunnar Henderson, 1-12 so far.
Yeah.
Picked off first yesterday, misplayed a grounder, just not a good start at all.
Well, it's also the strikeouts.
Oh, for sure.
Like Bichette, 1 for 14, 8 Ks. Kurtz, 1 of 9, 7 Ks. Rooker struck out 8 times. It's like they can't even put the ball in play.
Are you of the belief that you're okay needing to see it to believe it first? Meaning, you want Bichette to snap out of it at some point. You need Gunnar Henderson to snap out of it before you get on board. I would rather kind of like get there when the guys are hot. Mm-hmm. Because if I get in on Henderson right now or Bichette right now and they keep slumping, then it's like, oh, how many times do I bet them until they snap out of it? Because that could be, if it's a bad start for like the first month, then you're just completely buried. Mm-hmm. On top of that, McCutchen, by the way, for the Rangers. So now this won't last, but 4 for 9, a home run, 2 doubles, and 4 RBIs for Texas to begin that series. And Jack Leiter is going tonight, who was really good down the second half of the season last year. And I don't know, you trust him tonight? Maybe this is an underplay with Bassett on the mound for the Orioles, both offenses. Again, kind of need a...
I trust Bassett.
All right.
I think the Orioles. Do you like you want to go against the Yankees?
No, I want to go. I want to go with them, I think.
Really? Against Castillo?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
I think that's kind of a small number to play the Yankees.
I don't put you off betting against these bad teams either. You know, going against Colorado and the White Sox and these other teams. You know, and what Miami's done now, you have to back Paddock, which is risky business. But they're 57-42 since June 13th. Better than L.A. and New York during that stretch. Oh. That's under the radar. And the Brewers, 29 runs in the first 3 games. We're down to the final stretch of college hoops. Great time to stay on top of every bet. With VSiN Pro, you get every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, DK and Circa, the AI-powered prop tools, matchup analysis, 24/7 video, and the show replays. Final 4 matchups covered on VSiN.com with previews and trends. Stay ahead of the market and beyond hoops. You get the MLB betting guide, which is fantastic, coverage of the NBA and NHL playoff races, and the Masters betting guide, which is right around the corner. Start today, just $9.99, or save 50% off with an annual subscription. VSiN.com/subscribe.
By the way, I'll tell you who I bet with my K-props coming up in about 20 minutes when we get to our in-pocket plays.
It's over.
Yep. Royals 3-1 over the Twins. Okay.
Game.
We'll discuss Elite 8 results and move forward to the Final 4 coming up. We got to get to the bottom of this.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. What a day yesterday. You know, thank God we actually had a game like that. Doesn't matter who wins, losses, but to give us a game. It wasn't
looking good.
No, I know.
Illinois blew them out. Arizona blowout. Michigan won by 35, and then Duke was up 19.
Yeah, it was turning into like a really awful tournament.
Can't imagine that would have been a disaster for the books. I would imagine too.
I think so. Yeah,
coming in with ease.
Yeah, and then the comeback happened again. Nothing like huge that smacked Duke in the face in like a 1 minute span. It was just like chipping away the entire time, and then they blew the end of the game. But that also ties in. Like you go back, their last 4 losses. Mm-hmm. Their win probability during these games. Yesterday, 98.7%. In February against North Carolina, 95.1%. This is all via ESPN's numbers. December against Texas Tech, 97.8%. Last year, Final 4 against Houston, 97.5%. I would actually say that one was close to 100%.
Yes.
That to me, takes the cake still. Blowing the game against Houston.
Up 6 with a minute to go to the title game.
What, they score 1 field goal in the final 10 minutes? And you got first of all, you have Cooper Flagg and you have Con Kneppel who can't miss. So you don't draw anything up more. You can't get him to the free throw line, nothing like that. So money lines going back in their losses in the tournament at like the highest they were. Against NC State in the Elite 8, they were minus 920. in that Final Four game, this is at DK against Houston, they were minus 100,000. Yesterday, minus 4,800. The biggest number that I saw on UConn to come back and win was 18-1. And now this is all you need to know. Turner puts up the graphic. 1 seeds all time, 134-0 and leading by 15-plus points at halftime.
Yep.
And that was late. That was when it was but they had 70 points, so it was nip and tuck at that point. So it happened again, and I can't believe it. I'm still stunned. I watched the game again today, the second half. I'm like, what? So
I've watched the final 10 and a half seconds countless times. It's like, what are you doing? Why did he panic? Why did he feel the need to pass the ball? Mm-hmm. Why didn't he just hang on to it? Why did Sarr pass it? Why did Boozer pass it? They have to foul. You make both free throws, it's over.
By the way, you don't have to get it past half court.
No, it's right. Just hold the ball.
The game's over.
You have to do. I don't know why they panicked, and why he decided to pass the ball, and then the incredible play to tip it, and then Mullins hits the three. But it's just there's so much stuff that led up to it, and not having the killer instinct. And I think you have to point the blame pie also Shire. Why does it keep happening? I mean, up 17 against Tech, up 13 against Carolina, the Houston debacle. And it's happened. 2 of the losses are on the big stage when you're trying to get to the Final Four or the title game. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's turnovers and not taking care of the ball that is the common denominator here. But maybe it's something about coaching and who you recruit and who your guards are, and not having Foster out there, or just making the guys aware and going through all these situations.
Yeah, so right away, as soon as the game ended, everybody wants to play the blame game. From what I saw anyway, it was all directed towards Caden Boozer. And he was completely dejected, down to the dumps at the end of the game.
Well, he didn't score in the second half either.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah. So he told who the media there. He said he feels like he let his brother down.
Well, I mean, it's been a special year. Obviously, being able to do what we did this year is really special. And again, this was the last time we were able to choose this, so I was never going to pass it up. And I just feel like I let him down.
Yeah, he's gonna live with that one for a while.
Yes,
and
it's over. Even forget about the 19-point lead. You're up 9 with 5 minutes. I mean, you got it. Don't turn it over. Make your free throws. And also, you have to give UConn credit too for not quitting. And Caravan and Mullins finally knocked down the shots, the big shots. When they're down 4, he cuts it to 1, and then Mullins from the parking lot.
Well, Mullins, too, to look up at the clock, and he's like, okay, I got 2 seconds. What am I going to do? He just knew immediately that he had to put it up.
Well, they didn't panic. Other guys would panic in that situation, too. Do I have enough time? Do I have to shoot? Do I pass it? What do I do?
So this is it's from the X account called Great Day to Be a Tar Heel.
Okay.
So you just know that they have this ready to rip out and
isn't that funny?
Unload.
They both blew 19-point leads.
Yeah. So Duke has 0 NCAA titles or title game appearances since 2015-2016, despite the following players going through that program: Brandon Ingram, Luke Kennard, Jason Tatum, Frank Jackson, Marvin Bagley, Gary Trent, Wendell Carter, Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, Trey Jones, Vernon Carey, Jalen Johnson, Paolo Banchero, Mark Williams, Kyle Filipowski, Derek Lively, Jared McCain, Cooper Flagg, Con Kneppel. Now you watch James Boozer. Now, I would like to tell this Twitter handle, okay, now here, do me another favor. I know it's Duke that you can't wait to rip, but go look at Kentucky with John Calipari.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever want to be absolutely blown away, look at the talent to go through there and then realize the last time that they made a Final Four. It's astonishing.
What is it? You only have to win 4 games. Why is it so hard? Look at Boeheim's resume. Again, Arizona's only been there 5 times ever. I couldn't believe it. All those pros, and Duke hasn't been able to get it done. Took Roy Williams forever.
I know.
Couldn't do it at Kansas.
Yep. What do you think of this?
I don't know.
What do you think there's something to, like, let's say Calipari just recruited the players and then he let Ben McCollum coach them. Like, would that...
That's not fair, then.
Would that translate into Final Four every single year, pretty much?
Well, there's a lot of guys who are great with the X's and O's, but they can't recruit.
Oh, for sure.
There's other guys who are great recruiters, and they're bad with... That's why I think Donovan will be awesome at North Carolina. He didn't like the recruiting and meeting with the family and all. Now that's out. You got the GM, you're good. He's just X's and O's. That's good. And I also can't imagine if I'm Lloyd, I can't leave.
Now, there's so much pressure as soon as you go to North Carolina.
Right. You're going to walk into that and the big high expectations, and you just went to the Final Four, and they're still going here. But as Pat Forty said, he's not doing the Costanza, get the hell out of here. He's not saying I don't have any interest. He's keeping it alive in these press conferences and not saying, but this is that'd be odd if they go to the title game and he leaves.
How about if McCollum is just such a better coach he can do more with less? Anything that possibility?
This is a Cignetti conversation.
I would think so, yeah.
Look who he's winning with.
Uh-huh. Does it work that way if he
I don't know.
Has the best roster in the entire world? Maybe not.
If you give Cignetti all the talent, does it hurt maybe? Or does he find it and get the best, find the best and motivate these guys who were the 3 stars? I don't know. That was the shocking thing the last 2 years about the Indiana run. Look at the players. These aren't these great studs that they got. I mean, you're coming from James Madison and some transfers and the other stuff. You saw the front page story. He's yelling at this guy from Michigan State because he got gold cleats on.
Yeah, right. What if Michael Jordan just said, okay, I'm stepping in here, right? I got more money than anybody.
Uh-huh.
And he calls Brad Stevens and he goes, I'll give you $50 million a year.
Well, it's not fair.
You can be the coach. You can be the GM.
What that guy did at Butler?
Yes. I get it. He didn't want to do it anymore because of how it changed everything like that. But he's also done a great job as the GM, like the guy who's in charge of the Celtics. If I don't know, to me, but maybe he's made it known to everybody. There's no way. Don't even call me. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. But a guy like Brad Stevens he would demand the most money out of any coach in the entire country if he wanted to come back, I would think.
Isn't it harder now, though, because you're going to have a brand new team almost every year?
It's tricky.
If you're willing to spend the money, you get the big-time recruits, and the guy could only be there 1 year and off to the NBA.
Yeah.
But I think Stevens is set, and he said, I love being a masshole, and I'm good here with the Celtics, and he has a dream job.
Yeah.
And what he's built is incredible.
How about Pitino basically saying, I'm not going after the 5-star
there's another one.
Recruits anymore. I'm just going to go after transfers who are men and are like 22 years old.
That's like what Illinois has done, right?
That's exactly what they've done.
Look what Illinois has done.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Super tall. They can all shoot.
Yes.
Some of them are, they got young dudes, but also like some other dudes who are like vets on the team. Maybe there's a good recipe there. I don't know. Is that the problem with Duke? Is that they're too reliant on the best 18 and 19-year-old players in the country?
Yeah.
But look at Calipari. Calipari brings in as much as anybody and can't sniff a Final Four right now. So, I don't know, it seems to me like Tommy Lloyd could stay in Arizona. He could win 30 games every single year, make a Final Four every 3 or 4 years, and that's just, it's gravy.
Well, it's hard to do this, and it's hard to get to the Final Four. But also, whether they're too young or whatever, you just can't keep making these mistakes and blowing these big leads.
I know.
And I think that's when you have to point the finger at the coach.
Yeah.
Because in the last 4 losses, it's catastrophic.
Well, at what point does it turn into this dude's on the hot seat? Like if it happens again next year, they're a 1 seed loaded to the gills, they blow a 15-point lead. It's like, oh, dude, come on. Enough's enough here, pal.
Yeah. The NC State loss, that's bad too. You got a nice lead on an 11 seed to go to the Final Four, and they blast you.
Yeah.
You can't lose to NC State like that too. Maybe 2 more years, or if another meltdown like that happens, it's got to be hot soon.
We'll get to our best bets coming up in Pocket Plays here and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-to-1 odds. Nope. 5-to-1. Nope. 10-to-1. You're on.
All right. Tough go of it over the weekend, but a nice future did cash. The Tankathon parlay went 7-1. Paid plus 180. Yeah, we had it all ready to go. Just had to get the Portland win, laying 10.5. The Blazers scored 93 points at home and lost to Dallas, who've been giving up on average 130 points. Rangers, Blackhawks go in the first 10. The Rangers scored 6, but nothing in the first 10. And I thought it was going to fall 1 or 2. Michigan State, how about that start? Down 19. Then they come all the way back, cut it to 1. And UConn pulls away late and wins. But look for this in your accounts. Pistons plus 450 to win the division. They're 8 up with 8 to play, and they have the tiebreaker. So, depending on what book that's at, but get ready in the next day or two if they grade that as the... and I think Bickerstaff has to be coach of the year. And that has moved up to like 220 now, minus 220, because the Pistons are going to get the 1 seed without Cade. They're still winning games. And Missoula did an excellent job. No doubt about it.
He's got a great case.
Oh, yeah. To be the 2 seed without Tatum. And most people and experts thought maybe play-in. That was realistic. Maybe best case, the Celtics are the 6. Great job. But also the Pistons, you knew they were real from the get-go. UConn plus 2 against Illinois, the early game on Saturday. Good luck.
Back at you, Pauly. I think I have a lot to go over here. I made 3 bets to make the Final Four.
Oh, you must have been living.
A couple of months ago.
St. John's, what happened?
Yeah, it was St. John's, Virginia, and Arkansas. They did not get there. But the St. John's game, man, now this does the audience absolutely no good, but I was watching the game, a buddy of mine at the Bellagio on Friday night after the show. Mm-hmm. When they got that big lead, I was absolutely firing on Duke to come back and win the game.
Why?
Hoping that I would lose. So partially that ticket, but also the number was too good to pass up.
We would have got St. John's UConn round 4, too.
Yeah, but there was, despite St. John's up that much, there was way too much time left in the game.
What was the in-play at that point?
Plus 120 was the best number that I got.
That's it?
I bet it twice. One was minus 108, the other one was plus 120. Ooh. And it could have kept going up at that point, but I didn't add any more. It
was a great game.
It was an awesome game. And the under in that game had no chance. I mean, they were just on fire.
They were.
The entire time. Sam Merrill did not go over on Friday night. They scored 50 points? Didn't go over 12.5. But a nice bet here on some of all seeds to make the Final Four, under 9.5, minus 130, that got there. That was a winner.
Condolences if you had over 2.5 1 seeds to make the Final Four. Oh, boy.
Bad. Tonight, we're going to go Clay Holmes over 3.5 Ks, minus 125. Put that up on the vsin.com picks page earlier today. The reason why I like this is because I'm tailing the Opta AI stats. Mm-hmm. They had it as the best value play today. So we'll see how it goes at that number. And I played Bryce Elder over 4.5 for the Braves, minus 120. I just got to see if this is real with the A's. They struck out 50 times in the 3-game series, most by any team over their first 3 games since at least 1900. And Gossman had 11, Cease had 12, Lauer had 9. So that's 32 strikeouts against the opposing starter in the first 3 games. Just at 4.5, Elder, I'm in.
Leans tonight. Again, courtesy of Steve Makinen. 10 of the last 11 have gone over between the Spurs and Bulls. That's a ton of points for the Lakers to be laying without Luka. The Cavs are on deck tomorrow, and the Sixers look too good to be true against a Miami team that can't guard us. And the Sixers look great on Saturday, and they're finally healthy. Follow the Money, brought to you by ProfitX. If you're not on ProfitX, now's the time. Sign up by April 6th, purchase at least $25, and get free $25. Jump into their King of March contest. Use the code VSINMM. Download ProfitX, code VSINMM. Make your first purchase and take your shot at becoming the King of March. They are trying to, through the process of elimination, determine who the Seahawks will play on Wednesday night to open the season. Kansas City's out because you don't know Mahomes. That's from owner Clark Hunt. San Francisco and the Rams play on that Melbourne game Thursday. So it's Chicago, Dallas, New England, the Giants, Chargers, or Arizona. Cross off Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona can't be it.
What do you think they do? Bears?
Yeah, that's got to be the play. I don't think it would be Chargers either.
No Super Bowl rematch.
No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to.
No
I think they go from an NFC team.
I would say Chicago or Dallas. They'll go.
Yeah, one of those two. Yep.
Bears would be safe, and it's official. The 2029 Super Bowl is in Las Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Another one for us.
People loved it the first time around. So I'm not talking locals, like national football people were like, oh, that was awesome. Maybe we should do that more often. And by the way, they're already looking at replacement refs for this upcoming year. Did you see this? Get ready with the D1 and D2 officials, I believe, to be there at the NFL level. Remember what that was like?
The Fail Mary.
Yeah.
What I remember most, other than the Fail Mary, is how big-time star players and coaches could talk officials into throwing flags.
That's right.
That was a big problem because they were intimidated.
Do we remember if the replacement refs were actually worse than the regular refs?
Yes, they were.
They were for sure.
Remember, games were also taking 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
Weren't the reviews really long?
There was a lot of it. There was a lot. Fail Mary. One guy enters touchback, other guy touchdown.
You can't make that up.
No, you can't. Tip jar, it's open. Send them in. We already got some of the UConn tickets in. If you capped off parlays with UConn Final Four, or if you had Michigan or Arizona, again, a great call by Pat Forty, who was on earlier. He tweeted in November, I've seen enough. I want Michigan and Arizona, and you can have the field. But send them in, ftm@vsin.com. Tip jars open tomorrow with your pizza bets, your futures. Send them in, ftm@vsin.com. Do that tomorrow.
Who do you think comes out of the East this year in the NBA?
Oh, it's tough. I still have to go Celtics. I mean, to think that you're the 2 seed and now you get Tatum back. You know, it's going to take time with him coming back. And I know they were 16th in offense, but I just think Boston's too good. You know, these other teams have. First thing I know about what's going on with Cade Cunningham as well.
How about if?
But this thing's. You can make a case for several teams now. If the Sixers look like that, I don't think 25-1's crazy. That they're healthy and maybe, you know, Embiid's going to get hurt at some point, but they could be dangerous and win a series, although he's never made a conference final. But Atlanta could upset Cleveland. Can the Knicks get stops when it counts? Towns doesn't like his role. What's going on?
Well, here's the way I think that we should look at it, and that is, by the way, Nationals lead the Phillies 4-0 top of the first.
Oh, come on.
Holy smokes, that was fast. The way we should look at it is like a horse race. Which teams do you want to draw a line on from thinking they have they're going to come out, or you want to bet on? Like I'm drawing a line through the Raptors.
Yes.
You got to draw a line through some of these teams, right?
Yeah.
I draw a line through the Cavaliers.
Really?
I'm sorry. It's James Harden.
That's fair.
So I can't do it. And there's a home run by
Henderson.
There you go.
Hey,
there you
broke out
go.
of it. There you go.
Immediately with a solo home run.
Yeah.
You want to draw a line through the Knicks?
No.
Or is that a slippery slope?
Can't do that.
The Magic, forget it.
Yep.
Heat, can't. I love the Hornets. They're not going to come out of the East.
Better road team, though.
Yeah. Why not the Pistons, though, if we know that Cade Cunningham is going to be healthy? If I told you once the playoffs get here, he's been completely cleared. Doctors say lungs all right. Nothing to see here.
You can't ignore the 1 seed, and they've been great without him, and they're going to still hang on to the 1 seed.
Well, is it possible that if the Celtics get bounced, we're going to look back and say, yeah, they were better off not bringing Tatum back?
You had to bring him back.
You think so?
You had to. Absolutely. Can't do that.
You knew it was going to take a long time.
Have to.
All right.
It's also based on matchups as well. Like the Cavs match up well against the Pistons. They do not match up well against Boston.
Right.
You know, how's it going to fall with this? With how these seeds played out, what's going to happen?
Also, I think I haven't bet it yet because the price is still too high. But the Knights are $1.35 on the puck line tonight against the Canucks.
Well, I need to know more. So there was some tweets you found interesting. If he lost the dressing room and it was bad,
right?
Maybe you get the shot in the arm now, and certainly Tortorella likes to go after people and be. It's an interesting spot though for him. I mean, they just won the cup, and now he's coming in. They're going to make the playoffs. This reminds me of what the Denver Nuggets did last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
They fired Malone with like a month left in the season. And just said, there's nothing we could do. The relationship was that bad between coach and GM. We had to do it because we weren't going anywhere this year.
Well, Jay Cornegay, who was at the Westgate Superbook forever, he tweeted out yesterday, if you have watched this team, like every game going back, you knew they had to make a change.
Oh, that's something.
That's
wild.
I know. Not as bad as when they fired Gallant, but I was pretty stunned yesterday.
No doubt.
When the news came across. Prime time's next. Murray, Humans, tons of college basketball, NBA baseball tonight. Dustin has cashing out tonight, 11 o'clock Eastern. Wake up tomorrow early, 7 a.m. Eastern. VSiN by the books. Good luck.